NJMA. Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. This is episode number 490 of the Immigration Answers Show. I'm going to be here live for the next hour answering as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Hope is here. Blue Girl's here. Jonathan is in the waiting room. Yu Yin is here. Tyrone is here. Patrick watching from Las Vegas. We got in the waiting room Roki, Vera, Sam, Nagma, Fafa, and BS. Oh, BS is back. All right, all right. I'll be here, like I said, for the next hour. We are about 10 episodes away from the 500th episode of the show. I'm going to be here for a full 5 hours, God willing, on December 15th. We're going to go for a full 5 hours. It's going to be a cavalcade of stars. We're going to have friends and family, lawyers extraordinaire, people who fight for immigrants, not just at Hacking Immigration Law, but around the country. I'm going to start working on our guest list. It's going to be quite the extravaganza. I'm glad you're all here now and that you'll all be here then. I have an announcement for tomorrow, not even waiting for next week for the show to end all shows. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going live on TikTok. I'm going to go live on TikTok at 10 a.m. tomorrow from 10 till 10:30, just as a little test. We're going to start going live in TikTok twice a week. Tony is right. Get the Diet Dr. Pepper ready. Get the Smart Water ready. I need to get some corporate sponsorships, don't you know? Just like Vanna. Hello, Smart Water. It'll make you smarter. How's everybody doing? I'm pumped up. I've had probably way too much Diet Dr. Pepper today. I went out to lunch today with my friend. He's a judge in St. Louis County, so it was good to see him. Good friend of mine, and he got to see the new offices. Maybe we'll do a walking tour of the new offices now that we've moved downstairs. I'm in my studio. I have a whole new setup here. Maybe we can show everybody around on the 15th. It's a plethora of ideas. We just have a never-ending list of ideas of things we want to do for the 5-hour show. I think I'm going to slot people in for about 7-minute slots with maybe 2 or 3 minutes on the back end so that we have some cushion and so that people aren't waiting for each other. We're also going to have to figure out how to do the waiting room with our guests, because sometimes the waiting room fills up. So Julio will probably be busy that day, kicking people out. And I'm not sure if Julio can handle the whole 5 hours. So we might need a backup on the boards. We'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to handle 5 hours. I'll have to get a good night's sleep the night before. Now that I'm 53, I don't sleep so well because I'm old and shit. All right. Let's get this started for today. And let's go to Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great.
First of all, 53 is not old, otherwise God help us all. Second of all, just a thought for your listeners. I know reviews are really important for you, and obviously I've left you a 5-star review. But my wife's a petitioner, and my daughter's also a beneficiary. So they've both technically benefited from this advice as well. So they're going to go online and leave you 5-star reviews as well. So that's 3 for 1. So just people should think about that.
I appreciate that.
My deadline to submit RFE, the stuff for the RFE is this week, so I'm obviously a little nervous. Couple of questions. If they don't like what I've submitted, can they automatically deny, or would they send out annoyed and then I'd have a further opportunity to correct whatever was wrong?
What you have in front of you now is a request for evidence?
Correct.
The regs say that they're supposed to send you a notice of intent to deny, and I would say they follow those regs 80% of the time.
Okay, and if I do get annoyed, is it like a mad uphill battle, or is it as long as I submit whatever is required, whatever's giving them doubt or concern, that it should be fine?
Oh yeah, we've won cases on annoyeds before. What you're hoping for is that you don't get annoyed asking for the exact same thing that you submitted in the RFE, because that means you're in trouble. That's a bad sign, and in fact, that would be a good video if the annoyed and the RFE match. That's trouble.
I'll tell you what Michael said. So they've asked, I noticed too late that they asked for an original document sent in by mail, which I got copies of, but it's not the original, and I'm not going to be able to get it in time. The deadline's Friday. So I'm going to send them a copy. It's something they didn't have in the original submission. So they might turn around and be like, no, we asked for original. It's not original. Does that might trigger a NOID, I'm guessing. Is that going to be a
Yeah.
massive problem, or as long as I have the original after the NOID, then I'd be okay?
Yeah, and if you're going to have to refile, you'll probably need that thing anyway. So get it, and I would even is the thing that they've asked the original for something that they already have a copy of, or
No.
have they never had the copy?
They've never had the copy.
So I would send it to them with an explanation as to what it is and what efforts you've made to get the original, the OG, and then tell them, can I have a little more time, or I'll send you the OG as soon as I get it. Just sort of see how it goes.
Okay, and then considering how close I am to the deadline, I'm waiting for one thing to come through. Can I hand deliver this to the field office, or does this have to go via mail?
I don't think they'll take it at the field office.
So I have to make sure to be a day, at least the day before, send it priority guaranteed for the following day. I can't risk taking it on the day.
Yeah, I would say Federal Express, and then don't do, I've actually had more packages lost when I do the absolute earliest delivery. Do the regular next day guaranteed delivery, not the morning. Don't do the morning. Okay. I mean, that just might be me being superstitious, but that's all you need to do.
And you said FedEx specifically, or
FedEx.
UPS? FedEx specifically.
We do everything with FedEx.
Okay, fine. And then for bank statements, am I meant to send like a year's worth, 2 years worth? Do I show all transactions? Do I hide anything? What do you send with bank statements?
I would do. Well, if you sent all of them, how many years are you talking?
So through the longest joint account on bank statements would be a year. There's other stuff we got longer, but bank statements would be a year.
Yeah, so I'd send all of it.
And you send every page of every statement with all the transactions.
Yeah, unless there's stuff you're worried about, but yeah.
No, it's just a question of thickness and loads. It's just there's no privacy issues with all my transactions, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so basically do the best I can. If I don't have something or don't have an original or something, send an explanation, and then follow it up. And worst case, they'll send me an order, and then I'll send it later on if I have to. Fingers crossed. All right, thank you so much. Bye, buddy. See ya. Bye. That's our friend Jonathan out in Salt Lake City. Glad to see him. Let's say hi to Fafa. Hello, Fafa. Oh yeah, but your mic is all garbly.
Can you hear me now?
That's much better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for having me, Jim. So I don't know if you recall or not, but you guys are helping me with suing the embassy for the delayed case for my father's case. They came back and they said, okay, he has to come to Abu Dhabi for his medical and then send in his passport. That was the last I spoke to you. So we did send it in, and they sent it back empty, saying he's not. Thank you so much. Now he's back in administrative processing again. So my question now is, how long do they have to make a decision?
When did they receive the copy of the lawsuit?
I'd say about a month and a half ago.
And has Christina said anything to you about them asking for an extension?
No, the only thing is that they said there's no one assigned at the U.S. attorney to your case yet. So we're going to wait to see who is going to be assigned and then apply pressure.
Yeah.
But then I was wondering, how long do you think they have until they get
the clock is 60 days from the day that the last defendant receives it. So, we have to send it to the State Department and the U.S. attorney. And whenever the last person gets it, it's 60 days from there. So if you're a month and a half, you'll probably get, some of these U.S. attorneys wait until the very last day to enter their appearance, but usually it's in those last couple of days right up before the deadline. And they'll probably come and say, hey, we had Fafa's dad come, we had him bring his passport, we had his medical, we just need a little more time to decide the case, or they tell us what they're going to do. And so I think you're getting pretty close to finding out what the deal is.
Okay, great. Yeah, I have another relative that is facing an issue, and my sister, she's in the waiting room to talk to his nana.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you, Fafa.
Jim, bye.
Hey, can you see the other people in the waiting room or no?
She just told me she's in the waiting room.
Got it. Okay, great.
Bye,
thanks,
Jim.
Fafa.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. That was Fafa. Let's say hi to Najma. Hi, Najma.
Hi. Thank you for taking me on. So in 2015, I applied for a U.S. tourist visa with an Iranian passport. And a few months later, I received a letter telling me that I had been rejected. And the reason for rejection was stated as Section 306 of the Enhanced Border Security and Visa Entry Reform Act. A couple of years later after that, I moved to Canada, and eventually this year in October, I obtained Canadian citizenship. In November, I opted to travel to United States, and at the Canadian airport, I was pulled into a room by the US officers. They asked a few very basic questions, and then they said, well, have a nice trip. A few days later, I returned from the US to Canada until yesterday when I was going to Dallas. And again, they pulled me into the room and they asked the same questions. Eventually, they told me that this time I cannot go to US because I was rejected in 2016 under Section 306, and hence I cannot go until the US State Department clears my background. And they also gave me this set of papers. It says application for admission withdrawn.
Was withdrawn?
Yes.
Was withdrawn?
So it says subject is deemed inadmissible under Section 212A7AII of the Immigration and Nationality Act as amended. Subject was advised that she must go to the nearest U.S. Embassy or consulate to finish her SAO process, and she's given a copy of the I-275. I was wondering if this is a type of case that your office would take on.
Mm-mm.
No,
we don't get involved with non-immigrant visas, and the reason for that is because we can't provide a lot of value, right? So no one has the right to come to the United States. No non-immigrant has the right to come to the United States. So the government has a ton of discretion as far as who they let in the United States and who they don't. So we don't ever get involved in non-immigrant cases. Every now and then we'll sue, like if a student has been able to come before and they're sort of stuck outside the country, or if they've been waiting we've had a fair number of Iranian F1 students who they won't give a visa to, and we've sued successfully on those. But generally, as far as the mechanics of being involved in the embassy and the ability to come, that's one thing we wouldn't handle. The other thing we wouldn't handle is trying to challenge the State Department finding under the that enhanced the Enhanced Border Security and Visa Reform Act. That's something that we can't challenge. You can't challenge that. We couldn't challenge it in court for several reasons. One of which is that as a non-U.S. citizen, you probably don't have standing to bring an action in court. So standing is that you have like rights that the government would recognize as being subject to judicial review or scrutiny.
understood. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Sorry, Najma. Good luck.
That's okay. Thanks.
See ya. All right. BS is here. What do you say, BS? Our old friend.
Hey, how are you, Jim? Can I turn off camera?
You're off camera, bud.
All right, thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on your 50 episode. Sorry, thank you so much.
Thanks.
I really appreciate that, what you do to the community. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you, and always my blessings and prayers to you. Thank you so much. So I have a quick question, Jim. So we have a family business here in the United States. I'm out of in Denver. I live in Denver since last 11 years. We have a small size business, like we have like a salon, my family and we run together. And then my family, all of the family members in the family is US citizen, and then we're doing the business since last 12 years. And we want to bring one of our family members to United States to file them petition and do everything, to go through labor certificate and everything. So could you please suggest me how can I bring our family member to United States by like applying with the labor department and certified with them and to do all the process? Could you please suggest me on that case if you don't mind?
What's the position?
We wanna bring as a like salon worker, esthetician, like skincare worker, like beautician or something like that.
And does this person that you want to bring, do they have experience with that?
Yes, she does have experience on that.
Okay. And what is the family relationship?
Family relation is the business of the owner is basically like it's our family business, so it's a like a sister or like brother kind of relationship.
So the person that owns the business that would be filing for the employment-based green card,
Yes,
for
sister. Sister.
So if it'd be like me filing for my sister Carrie.
Yes.
Okay. So and this business is located in Denver.
Yes, sir.
Is it hard to find people who can do the job in Denver?
Not really. No, we can easily.
Okay, so that's going to be fatal to your case. So not everybody can get a green card to come to the United States to work. You have to remember that Congress writes the laws to protect American workers. They don't care about workers from Nepal or South Africa or Buenos Aires. They only care about the American workers because the American workers are the ones who vote, right?
Yes.
So the first part of the process, to answer your question, the first part of the process is we have to figure out what is the salary that we would have to pay this person to be able to come to the United States. So what you have to do is you file this application called the prevailing wage determination with the Department of Labor, and you say, okay, in Denver, what's the average salary for someone who does this job? And let's say it's $30,000. I don't know. Let's say it's $30,000.
Around like that. You are close, Jim. Around like that.
So you have to promise that you're going to pay that money. Okay. And so that takes 6 or 7 months for the Department of Labor to come back and tell you, even though you and I know it's around 30,000, we have to get the actual certification from them as to how much that is. Okay. Then we have to post the job. So you would post it at the salon, you would post it on the Colorado Employment Security website, you would post it in the Rocky Mountain News. Yeah, there's certain places where you have to post it. Okay. Then you're going to get a bunch of resumes in. So you're going to get people applying for the job. Hey, I'd like to work there doing nails or doing eyebrows or doing hair, whatever, at the spa. And if you're telling me, and so you have to be ready to prove to the government that this person back home in Nepal, it's Nepal, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
This person back in Nepal is better qualified than American workers, either U.S. citizens or green card holders. So if you get 60 resumes from people saying, I would do that job at $30,000 and I have experience, if any of those people are more qualified or even equally qualified to the business owner's sister, that shit's not going to fly, right? That you lose, right? If you keep going, you can get audited, and if they think you lied to them, then you can get into criminal trouble, right? So that's one thing. But let's say you do that. Let's say it's $30,000. Let's say no Americans apply for the job, because there's lots of jobs. Like I just did a consult like this, sort of a similar case, not for a family member, but for a tailor. And a tailor like doing suits and stuff.
Yeah.
The employee back in Pakistan, he had a ton of experience doing tailoring. And so and my man who's thinking about hiring us says it's really, really hard to find a tailor to work here in St. Louis where we are, right? So if you're telling me it's not that hard to find people to do this job, then
it's not hard. Honestly, quite frankly, it's not hard.
So that's the end of it.
So
that's the end of it. Then you can't do it.
So I can do it.
And plus, we have two other big problems. One is this process right now, like for that tailor, it's going to take like 4 years because there's a backlog on the visas, right? So there's a backlog on issuing. There's too many people that want that visa in line ahead of the sister of the business owner. So that's another problem. But the biggest problem of all is once they figure out that this is the sister of the business owner, I think they're going to put the nails in the coffin and say, no way, you're just trying to get here faster through employment than if your U.S. citizen brother just filed an I-130 for you. So that's the fundamental problem with the plan, I think.
Oh, I see. And so the chances to succeed is like very minimal. Then you would like to say something like that.
I mean, you seemed very confident that you could find American workers to do it, and if that's true, then this case is over.
Because I know I'm helping them out since last couple of years, 7-8 years, so we can find easily here. So it's not hard. It's not like I have seen like working in the restaurant, like cook or something. They are really hard to find, the restaurant worker, like chef or cook. But this
Yeah.
beauty business, we can find easily. I can tell that.
All right, BS. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thank you, sir.
See you, my friend. All right, that was a little primer for everybody thinking about the employment route, but that's sort of how it works. You work with the Department of Labor, then you work with USCIS, and then, of course, if they're overseas, you deal with the State Department. So it's all of those things, all of those things. Anna says, we have a case sitting in NVC since approved November of 2022, interviews in Islamabad. I'll let everybody chime in as to when interviews from Islamabad are getting scheduled. If anybody knows, please let us know. And we will get that. We will get you that information. I think that it's probably about 17, 18 months for Islamabad, but other people might know better than me. Anwar is here. Hello, Anwar.
Hello, I have a question. I I need to know if I can apply for citizenship next year without my husband because he's on active duty and he's gonna be on a carrier and I'm not into his orders and I'm not leaving here. So I mean, I'm in Maryland. I'm not going to wherever he's gonna be stationed.
When did you get your green card?
I got it in 2021.
Okay, and so you'd be applying under the 3-year rule.
Yes.
And during the last 3 years, how much time have you and your spouse lived in the same place? In other words, how much of the time have you guys lived together?
He's leaving in 2024 in August. He's leaving to his duty station.
But
In October, I'm gonna apply the same year.
Okay, so but up until then, for the last 2.5 years, you guys have lived together?
Yes, we are together.
He hasn't been gone anywhere?
No.
So the question is, Jim, if I become eligible to apply for citizenship in October, and is October the 3 years or is that 2 years and 9 months?
2 years and 9 months.
Okay. So Jim, if my green card is 3 years old, basically at the end of 2024, and I want to apply in October 2024, and my spouse is on active duty in August of 2024,
yes.
Is it okay for me to apply on the 3-year rule?
Yes.
So here's what I'll say. I'm 99% sure that you're fine, but before you filed, I'd want to do some checking because they're becoming sort of jerks about this 3-year rule and saying that you have to live together the full 3 years. But in my mind, if anybody's messing with you while your husband's on active duty, keeping our country safe, I don't think they're going to try to pull that stuff. So I think you're fine. I also think there might be special rules for the spouses of active military when they're out. I would just want to check that for sure. So overall, I'm telling you, Anwar, I think you're fine. But before you file, I just want to make sure.
For sure. And because I'm planning to get pregnant again and I have a baby, so I don't want to go with everything and just barely gonna see him every 3 weeks, barely once.
Yeah.
I won't know when he's coming. I do not know when he's going. And in a very, a place that will not gonna be my home. Here is our home. We own it. So why should we move from one state to another if we own the place?
Oh, he's going to be in the United States, just not in.
Yes. Not in Maryland. Yes.
Oh, I think
he's going to be on a carrier. His order is going to be what they call it. Cannot remember, but I am not part of his order.
I think
he's going to be for 3 years away from me.
I think you're fine, Anwar. I think you're going to be fine applying for NATS. But like I said, before you apply, let me know again and we can talk about it. But I think you're going to be fine.
Okay. Thank you very much. I was scared that how can I take him with me to any interview? He's not going to be with me.
Yeah.
And if they ask me, what did he eat yesterday? I don't know. He will be on a carrier.
Yeah. No, they're not going to. They find out he's military. They're not going to mess around with you on that. And usually, on the 3-year rule, they hardly ever do that gotcha questions like, what did he have for breakfast? They hardly ever do that anyway. Usually, I need to make a TikTok about this, that usually the spouse just comes to the N400 interview to sit in the lobby. They hardly ever even get called into the room. So every now and then, if they're worried about the whether the marriage is real, but if you have one kid and you're pregnant when you show up, you're going to be fine. I'm not worried about you at all.
Hopefully, if before he leaves, if I'm planning in the right way, I will give birth to the second baby. Hopefully, I'm planning for that, but who knows? And because my I-751 is pending, but I have my extension, 48 months extension. So that's why I was asking to make sure.
I think you're good.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Bye, Anwar. See ya.
Bye. Thank you. See.
What a nice lady. And thank him for his service for sure. All right. How are we doing, everybody? We're at the 25-minute mark. My name is Jim Hacking. This is the Immigration Answer Show. I'll be here for the next half hour. This is episode number 490. We have offices around the country, San Diego, St. Louis, Washington, D.C. You know, I haven't been creating much new YouTube videos, but I'm going to do some. I've been working on a little list. I'll probably shoot some this week. So if you have any topics you'd like me to cover, leave us a comment and let us know, and just say @JimHacking. I'll see it, and I'll try to shoot a video just for you. Try to not make it too obscure. Try to make it a topic of general understanding so that everybody can benefit, but happy to take requests, as I often do. All right, let's see if JP's ready. JP, you ready? Hello, JP.
Hello.
You're on mute. There you go.
Hi. Long time watcher. For a few years actually. First time caller.
Those are my favorites.
Little bit of backstory. Came here 2012. Student visa F1. Married in 2019.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. Got the conditional in 2021, around October, 2021 October, and then I'm currently on the ROC application, removal of conditions, and considering me and my wife considering applying for the naturalization under the 3-year rule. Just think, like, I know it's taking like a really long time for removal of conditions these days, so I should be eligible next year in July or August.
I like this plan. I like this plan. I like everything you're telling me so far. Keep going.
Thank you. So my question is, I think I've never seen this one yet, but back in 2015, while I was a student, I was approached by recruiters to join the army, and I had considered doing that. So I went through the recruitment process, all the way through MEPS, and close to when I was supposed to deploy, I had failed the drug test for marijuana. So I was disqualified. And my recruiter at the time told me I was discharged, but he said it wasn't. He said it wasn't any. I don't know what he was trying to explain, but he said it wasn't like dishonor or anything, just that I don't qualify anymore and I can't join. But up until that point, I'd gotten all my documents. I'd gotten like where I was going to deploy, where I was going to do basic. So it was looking like it was going through the normal process up until that point. So my question is, how much do I need to worry about this when I'm applying for naturalization next year?
So when did that happen?
This happened in 2016.
So before you had your conditional green card?
Yes.
Were you careful about how you answered questions on your I-485 about that?
I hadn't seen any question related to. I mean, yes, I think it did ask if I was in the military. There's a question about that, and I think because of what the recruiter said at the time, I didn't think I was actually in the military.
I wasn't talking too much about the military piece, although that is part of it. I was talking more about the marijuana piece.
I don't remember a question directly about
Okay.
marijuana use.
I don't have the old version of the I-485 in front of me. There's a question on there now. Have you ever committed a crime of any kind, even if you were not arrested, cited, charged with, or tried for that crime? Was the state where you had the marijuana, was that in a state where that was legal or illegal?
New York, so would be decriminalized. I think now, only more recently legal.
So I think I'm glad you called. I think before you filed for naturalization, you're going to want to track. I'm trying to not say Gunna anymore, because when the transcripts come out on my TikToks, it always says Gunna. You're going to want to request your entire immigration file.
Okay.
You're going to want to request your entire military file.
Okay.
So that you're in a good position to answer all these questions accurately. I think you probably want us or someone else to help you when it comes time to apply for naturalization. Because what we don't want to do is get you in trouble for now, might just sail through. But I assume that when you got your green card based on marriage, that you did the medical exam and all that stuff, and no problems with marijuana that time.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think that I would begin tracking down those things, your discharge record and your old USCIS record. Look at your old 485, see if there's anything in there that they can say, well, you lied about this on your I-45 and now you told us the truth in your N400, and that's sort of a problem.
Which was kind of one other point of it where I kind of realized that it may be because so I'm by trade I'm a software engineer. So I more recently started working at a job that requires a security clearance, public trust. So I went through the SP 486, I think, and that did become an issue at one point. During the clearance, I had gotten contacted saying that they see in my records, this was from the DOD, that it is in my records that I tried to join the military and then failed for marijuana. But at the time, they seemed like they were more interested in the fact that am I not using marijuana? How frequently was it? They were more interested in that more so than the fact that it disqualified me, if that makes sense.
So what I'm most concerned about is them accusing you of getting your green card without being honest about everything. That's what I'm worried about.
Okay. I see. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Pete. Let us know if you need any help, okay, buddy?
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Bye. All right. Vera's here. Hello, Vera. You're on mute, my friend. You're on mute.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
All right, I'm good too. So I have a question, actually a two-part question. I filed the Form 485 for my mother back in February. And this morning I just looked into her account online, and they say they have five months to decision time and 4 months for the current stage she's in, which it just says interview if needed. But we had talked to some lawyer who said they could expedite that. And I was wondering if that's really a possibility or the 5 months is the time.
So is there a special reason why you think her case should go faster?
So because we had filed the 485 and the traveling document, and she has been, wanting to go home to take care of her business and come back because, she's just been idle. She has no work permit, and she's not the kind of person who's just used to staying in one place. So she wanted to get her business in order at home and then come back and just be settled.
So the receipt date is on the 45 is from February of 2023?
Yes.
So nobody gets cases moving faster at USCIS than us because we sue them all the time.
Yeah.
But an expedite request just because mom can't work or mom can't take care of her business back home. I don't think that's going to work. I certainly wouldn't pay an attorney to do it. You could try it yourself, but I think your chances of success are very, very small. But
Okay.
I wouldn't pay an attorney to try to expedite it, and it's too early to sue them. So I think you're just chilling.
Okay. And then
Where does mom live, Vera? Like in America, which field office would have her interview if she had one?
St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So February, I would say she's probably going to get her interview here probably January or February, probably pretty soon. If she has an interview at all, she might just get the green card.
Okay.
Was she
And-
in status at the time that you applied?
Yes.
How long after she arrived in the United States did she apply?
She came to visit and I decided to apply for her. She'd just been here for like 3 weeks.
So that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know why?
Intent. It would look like she intended
Yeah,
to
but
not go
as
back home. Yeah.
Vera can have all the intent she wants as long as mama didn't know, that's okay. But getting them to understand that is a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All
true,
right.
because I feel like I kind of trapped her here anyway. But
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
last
I have a video about that. It's called "Does Mom Really Want the Green Card After All?" Like all the time, I talk to children who say, "Mom, I'm going to get you a green card. It's going to make it easier for you to come and go." And then it takes a year, and then the mom gets mad at the kid for.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where we are.
I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
the final part of this question is because I had filed at that time. I filed the request a travel document as well,
Yep, sure.
and the work permit, and none of those. We haven't received any of those. So, but then on the other hand, I was wanting to just let go of that at this time and just wait for the green card. Oh,
Well,
or should we-
it's all one thing. So whatever's holding up the green card is holding those up too. So hopefully, I mean, most people are getting their work card, not their travel card, but their work card 4 or 5 months after filing. So I don't know. They might be slow walking the whole case just because they feel like she jumped the line by filing 3 weeks after she arrived. I don't know, but that could be it. That could be it. And I will say that's probably going to make them more likely to want to interview her.
Okay. All right, then. I guess we'll just play the waiting game.
Thanks, Vera. Sorry I can't do more.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That's our friend Vera from St. Louis. I always like talking to people from St. Louis. Let's see what Yusuf has to say. What up, Yusuf?
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you. This is my second time in the show, and I appreciate your help. Thank you. So, I just got my R1 renewed for the second time. Okay. And my sponsors is about to apply for I-360 for EB4.
Yep.
But I heard some bad news. I want you to confirm that their lawyer said that even if I get my I-360 approved, I think there's something has been changed since April this year, that I cannot apply for adjustment right away. I have to wait. There's a backlog about 4 years or something.
That is 100% correct.
So let's say that I get my I-360 approved, and then I'm still have about like at the end of the 24 on the R1. So what should I do next, or what are my options?
So we are kicking this around the office right now, and that's one of the reasons why we are encouraging our clients that is, if they get an imam or a priest or a rabbi that they really like, to start the 360 process right when the R1 starts, because you can't get the R1. The R1 will not cover you all the way until that 360 priority date becoming current.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're either going to have to do one of two things. You're going to have to change your status to some other non-immigrant status, which is risky, or you're going to have to leave the United States.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think this backlog or this new law is going to change next year or something?
It's not a law. It's that they changed the way they categorized the EB4 category, and they added other groups of people to that and how they count it, and that created this massive immediate 4-year backlog. So unless Congress takes some kind of action, I don't think they're going to go any further.
Okay.
Any faster, I mean.
Okay. So you said that changing back to a non-immigrant visa is going to be risky.
Yeah, because the problem is, so in the old days, Yusuf, when we filed an I-539, which is how you change your status from one non-immigrant status to another, in the old days, that took 2 months, but now it takes a year. So you might be here past your deadline on your second R1 and not know if you're going to get that approved, and then things get dodgy.
Okay. So one more question. If I decide to leave after my R1 and it expired, and also I have the petition approved, so how can I come back on that petition when I want to come back? Can I just status when it has become current from overseas, or what can I do?
It wouldn't be called adjust status, because adjust status is only for people in the United States. What you would do, so timing wise, what would probably happen is your I-140, I'm sorry, your I-360 will get approved. You'll run out of R1 time. You'll have to leave the United States. Then your I-360 priority date will become current. And then you'll file a DS-260 with the National Visa Center for consular processing on your approved I-360. So you'll get an immigrant visa, and then you'll come back to the United States, and your green card should follow you. You'll pay a fee, and then you'll get your green card when you come back.
Yeah, so I don't lose my right, like if I leave the States.
Nope.
Okay. And that approved petition does not expire. Doesn't
the approved I-360?
Yes.
No, because you're waiting for the priority date to become current anyway. So it's you're just chilling until the priority date becomes current, because there's so many people in line ahead of you.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Bye, Yusuf. See you, buddy. Somebody asked a question in the text I saw. Here we go. Zafar asked me a question. Hello, Jim. I asked you about master hearing and I-751 in process, and you said ask the judge to drop the charges, but one lawyer is saying he will ask the judge to delay till the I-751 is decided by USCIS. Yeah, I don't think the judge will dismiss it just on the fact that the 751 is approved, Zafar, is pending. I think they won't dismiss it until the 751 is actually approved by USCIS. So what the lawyer is saying is right. You use the fact that you filed the new 751 to get the judge to postpone your deportation, and you show them the receipt for the new 751 so that they know you're not lying to them, and then they'll just roll it, and then they'll check in later to see if your 751's been approved, and then if they have, then your lawyer can make a motion to terminate your removal proceedings, if that makes sense. All right. Varun's been waiting. Hello, Varun. You're on mute.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Quick story short, I'm the beneficiary, and I've applied for my GC, and it's been I've applied it in June 2022, and everything has been approved. My 130 has been approved, and I'm still waiting on my I-485 to get approved. It's been 5 months for now.
Let's back up. Where are you from?
From India.
When did you come to the United States?
It's 2014.
On F1?
Yes.
OPT?
Yes.
H1B?
Yes.
Marry a U.S. citizen?
Yeah, she's a permanent resident.
So she's not a U.S. citizen?
No.
Okay. So when did your spouse file the I-130?
We filed it together in 2022.
You filed the I-130 and the 45 at the same time?
Yes.
Because back then you could do that. Now you can't do that, but back then you could do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know about priority dates and about the backlog on green cards for the spouses of green card holders?
Yes, I've been looking into it, and the priority date of mine was June 16, 2022.
Okay, so hold on. Let me I was just teaching the intake team about this today. So okay, so your priority date, oh wait, that's October. Let me get December. Okay, December 2023. So you're the spouse of a green card holder, so that's the F2A category, India. So right now they're approving 485s for people with a priority date of February of 2019, and yours is February of 2022, right?
June 2022. Yeah.
So they can't give you a green card for at least 3 more years. So what's probably going to happen is you're going to have to wait for your spouse to get their citizenship, and then notify USCIS that you're no longer the spouse of a green card holder, but you're the spouse of a citizen, and that they should treat you as an immediate relative and not as an F2A.
And the other thing is, as I'm out of the field office which my application went to, it went to South Carolina, the one in South Carolina. And as I'm now out of the date limitations, can I just open up a question to them asking that, hey, it's been so and so months, and what's the status of my application right now?
There's no reason to do that. They can't give you the green card. There's no reason to bother them.
Okay.
They can't give you that visa until these numbers become current. They literally can't. Even if I sued them, they couldn't. This isn't the kind of delay that anyone can do anything about. Congress can't, Jim can't, even USCIS can't. When did your spouse get their citizen or their green card?
2021.
How did they get it?
Through our employer.
So you will not get your green card most likely until 2026 after your spouse has become a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
If I had to bet, unless numbers suddenly go faster, which they're not, they're going slower. So I think most likely you're not going to get your green card. You're going to have to keep renewing your EAD and your advanced parole until your spouse becomes a citizen. Then once she's a citizen, then she can upgrade your case from spouse of a lawful permanent resident to spouse of a U.S. citizen.
So would that take time to, even the second option which you gave, when she turns out?
Let's say that she became a citizen today.
Okay.
Right? So then we have to say to ourselves, well, how in the hell do we get them to pay attention to the fact that Mrs. Varun became a citizen? So literally you got to send them a letter with big letters. Hey, morons, Varun's wife is now a U.S. citizen. I shouldn't call them morons. Hey, USCIS, his wife is now a U.S. citizen. He's no longer an F2A green card applicant. He's an immediate relative. So please treat him as such. Please approve his case. Now, you've already had your green card interview. So that means that they should be able to do it pretty quickly. You should keep watching this to see if that final action date goes past your priority date. So if the F2A category ever says July of 22 or August of 2022, then you can bother them and say, hey, it's time to give me my green card.
So the thing is, I've been, I go through some of the forums and websites where I've seen the latest applicants in the 2023. They've been getting their green cards. I've seen some people getting in a couple of months after they have applied it.
That's spouses of U.S. citizens.
I've seen some. I could be wrong, but
there's no way. There's no way. There's no way that spouses of green card holders are getting it. It can't. The computer literally can't do it.
So I can renew my EADs as long. Let's say if I'm still waiting for my green card, I can still renew it. Renew the EAD, which I haven't.
Not only can you have to make sure you keep doing that. Yep.
Okay. Sure.
Thanks, Varun.
Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of different angles to this fact that the priority date for green card holders isn't as current as it used to be. So it used to be for even the end of Obama and then all of Trump, those cases were treated just like the spouses of citizens. As Varun said, he was able to file his I-130 and the 45 together. Now you can't do that. So it's a tricky time. Donna is here. Hello, Donna.
Hey, how are you? I'm surprised I got on. Thank you. Amsterdam, my favorite. But I'm at a loss, really I am. I know nothing about immigration. I'm a United States citizen. I married a Jamaican in 1994, Valentine's Day. And we have been together since 1984.
Whoa.
He got into some trouble back in 1991, and he took voluntary deportation, right?
Okay.
Okay, forget about trying to get his paperwork and go through the green card process, because I think legally he was bamboozled. It wasn't that much, but it seems like, and I'm not sure, but it seems like it was a felony conviction of some sort, but it was in 1991. I don't know, but it's over 20 years, right? So I've been trying to get the records. They told me they can't find the records. They destroyed the records, the statute of limitations, da 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 da. And by last year, December the 11th, he hemorrhaged from the brain. He's 65. We're talking about a record that he had over 20 years ago. My main thing is trying to get him to America, because it's costing me a lot of money to go back and forth. I stayed with him in the hospital for 4 months. It's a miracle he's alive, but I need to get him to the States for medical attention. I mean, when I say he was in the hospital, I had to literally leave the hospital, go get prescriptions, and bring them back to the hospital. So that's just the environment. So I've been trying to figure out, and people have been running me around, taking my money, telling me they're going to do this, that, and the third. I had one person to tell me that there's nothing that it can be done, because once you have that with immigration, it's over. Then I had somebody tell me that I could file the fiance thing on the behalf of him. I wanted a medical visa, because that's the main reason why I want him to come here and get medical attention.
What's a medical visa?
I don't know. I was asking whatever it would be called, or is it possible, or is there such a thing?
So just as we sit here today, you've never filed an I-130 petition for him?
No.
Why?
Because I don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to give any kind of humanitarian visa or medical visa to the spouse of a U.S. citizen, because even though he's in this dire situation, their system isn't built for this. Their system is for the spouses of U.S. citizens to come on an immigrant visa plan, which takes like a year and a half. So the way you do that is you file an I-130, and then you go through the embassy, and then you consular process, and then you figure out if he has some bar on being able to come to the United States. Why did you wait so long? Why haven't you filed for him?
Well, first, he was living there, and we have business there, so he was not really pressed about it. And he was like, if I could just come and visit so often, that would be fine with me.
But it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely they're going to give a visit visa to somebody who's been deported or took voluntary departure. They're just not going to do it, especially if they have a felony conviction. They just you need the weight of a marriage to justify them letting him into the United States. To come for humanitarian reasons, they don't let felons in for medical treatment. Not saying he's a felon, but he is a felon, right? So all this stuff is, from a life perspective, I understand everything that you're saying to me, but from an immigration standpoint, basically we're doing it all wrong. Like, we should have gotten all of his records. We should get his deportation records. His deportation records would probably point us towards his criminal records. Was his felony conviction state or federal?
State.
Yeah, so that's harder. But I mean, I don't think he's coming anytime soon. And I'm going to fall. You said you sort of quoted what different lawyers said. One lawyer said there's no way in hell he's ever coming. There's other ones saying just file a K3 and he's coming. So I think there's something in the middle, but it all starts and ends, and nothing is going to happen until an I-130 petition is filed for your husband.
Okay.
That's the first step. That's more important than everything else.
Okay. So that the immigration folder is called a FOIA or something?
So there's a form called a G639. G639. You can file it electronically.
Mm-hmm.
That's called the Freedom of Information Act, G639. And what you want to request is all immigration documents for him, and they'll send them to you on a CD, and you can start with that. But I don't think you need to wait to do that. I mean, is this a medical condition you think he's going to recover from?
Well, actually, what they're doing now, he recovered. It was a miracle because he hemorrhaged from the brain. But they want to do another surgery to like put a stunt or shunt something in.
A stent?
Yes, it's exactly what
Oh,
a stent is, but they call it a shunt when they put it in
shunt,
your brain.
yeah, in the brain, right?
So they want to do that, and I don't want him to do it over there if he has to.
But like right now, he can talk and he's walking around and he's doing okay.
For the most part, he has really bad memory, short-term memory, long-term memory issues, balance are major factors.
So I don't think. I mean, this is like asking a doctor to give a prognosis without seeing all the medical records. We have to see all of his records. There's felonies, a lot of different things. So I think you just got to do it one step at a time. And like I said, his greatest attribute is the fact that he's married to a U.S. citizen for 30 years, right? So we got to maximize that by getting that I-130 on file.
Okay.
All right.
So how much is that charge? Or is there a charge, or do I need
Yes.
to just call or talk to somebody in your office?
You can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, and just say, I'm Donna. I was on at the 50-minute mark on show 490.
Okay.
And just say, I'm Donna. I was on the show tonight with Jim, and they'll find you, and we can go from there. But in answer to your question, the filing fee is $535, and our legal fee is $5,700. If you pay up front, you can save $500. Otherwise, you can do a payment plan.
But you're telling me when we do this I-30, it's going to take me about a year and a half. Nothing's happening fast.
At least nothing's happening fast, but we can use that time while that's all pending to track down those criminal records, track down those felony records.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
Thanks, Donna.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep, a lot of good questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Nerelson's here. What do you say, Nerelson?
Hello, can you hear me?
I got you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just give me 1 second, please. Let me just go to a different place right now.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm better over here. Yeah, I just have a quick little question. I'm a international student.
Yep.
Just recently graduated my bachelor degree as a civil engineer, and right now I'm working with my OPT for 6 months.
Great.
So my employer is interested to sponsor me my EB3 visa, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just want to get more information how this visa work, and then how much that my employer can pay for all this process, just because I want to give right information for them.
So here's what I would say. Number one, Nerelson, what you should do is email the office and we can talk to you and the employer and explain how it all works. The tricky thing is it's almost impossible to go from OPT to an employment-based green card unless you're going to go back to school when your OPT is up, because right now there's a backlog on these green cards of a couple years, which means that you have to be in status all the way up until your priority date becomes current. So even if your employer files tomorrow, there's not going to be a green card available for you for at least 3 or 4 years. So then the question is, how does Nerelson stay in status that whole time? So if your employer was calling me, I would say what you need to do is get an H-1B first after your OPT. Is your OPT a STEM field or no?
It's a STEM.
Okay, so you can get 2 more years of STEM.
Yep.
You can apply. They can apply for the 8 if they really like you. If they're willing to sponsor you for a green card, they should be willing to sponsor you for an H-1B. So it's hard for an employee on OPT to get to a green card. You could start now if you have 2 more years of OPT. That's good, but we're probably going to need to apply for the lottery each of those years, and then get you the H-1B, and then go to the green card, most likely.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have these conversations all the time. So if you email me, I can talk it all through with you, and then we can talk it through with the employer and explain it, how it all works. I could also do it all on the show sometime. It's just I'm out of time for today, but I could do a presentation for everybody if they think that's helpful on the show.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to email you, like, about,
just send me an email. Yeah.
And then coordinate with my employer and see where we can start it for them, and then provide them all this information.
You must be doing a good job if they're thinking about sponsoring you for a green card. So congratulations, that's great.
Yeah, I appreciate it for that.
See you, buddy.
Thank you for your time and for your.
You got it. Have a good night. What a nice guy. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Tomorrow's probably going to be 4:15, 4 or 4:15 tomorrow. Depends on if Noor goes to her training. She couldn't go today. She wasn't feeling well. Excuse me. I'll be back tomorrow for episode 491. If you have a quick minute and can leave us a quick review, reviewhackinglaw.com, we would appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 or 4:15. If you're not on the text list, text the word show to 314-470-3300, and you'll get alerted with a link to the waiting room. You'll be in there first before the show even starts. Thanks, everybody.